Hey Jackal! In this video we'll take a look at something a little bit different. It's even more niche than video editing in DaVinci Resolve. What I'll show you is how to make an online exhibition booth. Now one way how you can do it is simply take a 360 image, well a bunch of them, and put it in a software of your choosing. I will also show you one such software, but in this case what I want to do is take a 3D model. So it's not an exhibition booth, it's a whole town, but the concept is the same. So you can prepare the online exhibition booth before the actual event. And to do that, I'll be using Blender. As you can see, I have a whole town imported into the Blender. This was a Unity project, a demo scene, so I simply exported it as an FBX file and imported into Blender. But because the scene is huge, my GPU can't really keep up if I enable the viewport shading, so I will have it disabled, but I will have to enable it to actually see the results. And what the scene is missing is a camera, so Shift A, add the camera. Now I don't have the numpads, so I don't really see it, and I have to enable this to see it. So the camera is down here. I will simply, let's see, rotate it down, down, and down. Then we want to rotate it on the x-axis by 90 degrees. You can hold Control. So this will give us a nice horizontal perspective. Now we just need to lift it up. So G, Z, and move it up. If you hold Control, it will jump by this much. So now we have to kind of eyeball it based on the scene size. So I think this is how the person would see it. Now I don't have the numpad keys, so I can press 0 to see what the camera sees, but I can go to View, Viewpoint, and click Camera, and this is what the camera will see. Now this is just a 2D image. We want to make it into a 360 image, and how we can do that is with a bunch of settings, and that is what I'll go over. So on the top, let's see, nothing to change in this section. In render, you do need to enable cycles. And I guess this was heavy on my PC because the device was selected as CPU, not GPU. So let's see if I select cycles. Well, it's still not perfect, and I hope I'm not losing any frames. Maybe if I just do this option, so it's a little bit easier on the PC, and you do see some colors. So this is what you want to set. You don't need to change anything else in this section. Then we have the output. The resolution has to be 2 times on the x-axis as what is on the y-axis. Usually you can use 2000 by 1000 and then just increase the scale by how much you need. So the higher the resolution, the better the quality. And you can use 300% or maybe 400. But if we just do the test, we can export as 100%. But now we have the final section, which is the most important one, and it is the camera data properties. But you do need the camera selected. If you don't, then you don't see this. So with the camera selected, we will now change the type from perspective to panoramic. By default, the fisheye is selected, which is not what we want. We want this to be equi-rectangular, but now we still don't see any changes, and because we do have to change the viewport shading to this one, and now we do see the 360 view. Now in this case, I would have to make the sky a little bit more bluish at least. So maybe let me adjust the sky to be blue. Now in this case everything is blue because it's affecting the surface. But just for demo purposes, we do have everything set up. This is now a 360 view. We can simply render this out. So F12, and maybe I'll disable this option. Maybe just go to this view when I do the actual render. So F12, and that's because this scene is heavy on my PC, and I will also change the samples to 100 so we don't wait as long. And I can even disable the noise, why not? I just want to show you the whole process, how you could move from one scene to the next. And just so you know, this is like a point of view, as if you were standing in place when you took a 360 photo, so you will be able to move around with your mouse and see everything from this spot. So this could be image number 1. Of course, it doesn't look the best because I have disabled most of the samples, but we could now move the camera, so I can do camera to view, hold Ctrl, use R and Z, hold Ctrl to rotate at 5-degree angles, just like that, then maybe G and X, and with Ctrl we can then move maybe to this intersection, and I guess I'll just rotate back down the street. I guess I'll just type in -90, and this could be the second scene that we render out. I'll just disable the camera to view, see where I'm actually at. So we got from this point to that one, so that would be a second image, a 360 image from this point. Now, depending on the software that you use, when you import the 360 images, you may need to convert those images to actual 360 images. I don't know how that works, but you can use the Exify.io, or some people have also used the 360 photo converter. In my case, when I exported the images in Blender, I did not actually need to do that. Oh, and one more thing. When you do save the images or make the render, you may need to change the PNG to JPEG, though in my case again, it didn't really matter which format I chose. Was it the PNG or the JPEG? This just worked. As for the actual program that I use, it's REWO.io. With this platform, you can make a lot more than just online exhibition booths that everyone can access if you decide to share them, but you can also make how-to videos for your employees. Now, when it comes to the pricing, I actually have no idea how much this costs, but you do have other tools and platforms available to make 3D booths, but you can also showcase something like inside the house, similar to how Google Maps works. So you just move from one spot to the next one, and the person can see everything inside the house that was taken as a 360 image from that spot. But again, you could just make a model of a house inside Blender. So this could be something that is not yet existing, and you want to show it to potential customers or investors. In any case, let me now jump into the REWO platform and show you how easy this is to set up. Well, at least it's easy for me because I have no experience with that platform and I was able to do it. So this platform is made by a Slovenian company, so the menu is also in Slovenian. As you can see, I have a bunch of images inside, all of them JPEGs mostly. So first you have to upload an image, and you can select a normal media file, but in this case you want a 360 image or a video, but we'll be working with images. Now this is how the preview looks like. It was just a simple test that I have done, and as you can see it does work. So this was the last image that I have done. It's of a higher quality, and that's because I have scaled it up by 300%. So effectively it is a 6000 by 3000 pixel image. But how do you actually make something that is useful and customers can use? Well, you make a new story, give it a name, description, and you can also set the security so you can IP lock it, use a password and all of that stuff. And this is now my test scene. How do you actually get to this point? And let me just show you that you can go from one scene to the next, so clicking on the preview, this is actually what the end user will see. So this was a quick test, and I have 2 scenes set up. Just mock up to see if it works, and it does. It changes from one scene to the next. First, you'll want to go to the scene settings, give it a name, select a file. So first you upload the file, then select the scene, and you want to replace it. You can then change a few settings, as you can see. You also have video timeline, but as I'm just doing this for the first time, I have not used anything else. Then click on save, and the scene should be loaded in. You then also have the hotspots. These are the 2 rectangles that you can see, so the gray ones. Each scene has separate hotspots, so you will need to make hotspots for each different scene or an image, and you can also set some transitions between them. And you also have some styles that you can use. In this case, I have used a polygon. So you can create, as you can see, point of view, transition, exit, info, HTML, video, gallery, sound, a URL link, and these are the interactable contents. And then you have elements, an image, text, and a 3D object. And for advanced content, you have a question and API hotspot. But as I'm just doing this for the first time, I don't think I need anything more than the basics. And I have 2 scenes, as you can see, the first one and this is the second one, which I need to remove the hotspot from because it is a little bit wonky. But when you make a new hotspot, it will just create it over the hotspot that you already have. So this is not what I want. I actually want to remove it, so I will delete it. Because as I found out, you can't change the position, so the points after the hotspot is made. So make a new one, select the polygon, and also give the scene a title or where this will transition into. Save it, then choose the destination scene. Now this third invisible I have tested it out, but it doesn't really work how I expected it. Is invisible. So select the destination scene. Now as you can see, well, I have to select the preview, but now this is invisible, but when I click it, nothing happens. So I have no idea why that would be in, but you can set the opacity. And I guess that works in a similar kind of way as to what I would expect. And just a quick look of how that scene looked like in Blender, since I've pretty much done it with all of the primitive shapes and a bunch of lighting. It looked like this. So this is how I tested it out to see if it actually works or if I needed actual 360 images. Luckily, I found out that I don't, and that means that I can simply import a 3D model into the Blender and then add the interactive elements in the REWO platform. That's it for this video. If you found it helpful, subscribe to the channel. I do plan on making more Blender and Unity content, but you also have a ton of videos on how to do video editing in DaVinci Resolve. I'm Simon, and until next time, Jackal, keep it digital.